What's going on, everyone? Chris back again, finally, with a new episode of the Match Analysis series. This time we are on episode 4. And the match I'm going to analyze was via request of JQZ Network. And it brings us back to another WCW throwback. And this is from September of 1998. And it is for the World Heavyweight Title. We have the undefeated World Champion Bill Goldberg versus the challenger, and at this time was a member of the NWO Wolfpack, that being Sting. Before I get into the match, I just want to take a minute to talk about one of my friends who's a fellow YouTuber and one of the people who inspired me to start this channel. His name on YouTube is Good Mike Work. I'm going to leave a link to his channel down below. And his real name is Greg Morgan. Greg was recently kind enough to share us a health update about his life. I'm going to leave the link to that as well. But I just want to say, Greg, thank you for the constant support of my channel and for reaching out to me on X. And honestly, the courage it took to share the health update you did, and I'm, again, really glad you're going to be okay, but I really admire that courage and that strength, and like I said, please reach out to me if you need anything. He's been a big supporter and one of the people who inspired me on this channel. He's got a ton of amazing content, and definitely every Saturday, be sure to tune into his Winged Eagle podcast. And also look at some of his favorite things, like favorite SummerSlam and WrestleMania memories, because those have given me some of my ideas for this channel. So Greg, again, you're in my thoughts. I've gone from being a big fan of yours to now looking at you as a friend. And we definitely, I would love to actually, like I said, plug your content some more. Just let me know what you want me to talk about, and I'd even love to have you on if it fits your schedule for a dual episode. So now, back to actually what I wanted to talk about, like I said, and that's the match between Goldberg and Sting, and let's get right into it. So right away when this match starts, the crowd is going insane. And it starts with Goldberg backing up Sting into the ropes, and he hits him with a couple knees, sends him across the ropes, and then catches him in a power slam-like motion, and then in a stationary position, slams him to the canvas. He picks up Sting again and drives him to the corner, and then whips him to the opposite end turnbuckle. He charges in, and when he charges in, he doesn't eat the turnbuckle immediately because Sting gets out of the way, but Goldberg is able to put the brakes on and doesn't eat the buckle full force. However, Sting boots Goldberg and picks him up with a slam of his own, but instead of slamming him, he drives him into a turnbuckle back first, which was an unusual type of move you didn't see Sting do too often, so it definitely kind of helped vary up the match. Immediately after that, Sting hooks up Goldberg and hits him with a suplex. That Goldberg immediately no-sells and pops back up to his feet, and now the crowd is really into this match, and we're just like 2 minutes in. Sting in a little bit of a heel roll because it was babyface versus babyface, drops down to the outside to reset and collect his thoughts, comes back into the ring, and they pretty much restart the match. They lock up again, and again, Goldberg drives Sting into the ropes and hits him with a couple knees. So we pretty much do a repeat of what we had in the first minute of the match. He sends Sting into the ropes again, but Sting puts the brakes on, hits Goldberg with a kick to the stomach, and then they just start slugging it out in an exchange that Sting does not get the better of and is left laying. Goldberg then whips Sting into the ropes again, so it is getting a little repetitive to start. But this time, when Sting reverses it, Goldberg hits Sting with a shoulder block. Goldberg then hits the ropes again, but Sting hits a leapfrog, and then hits Goldberg with a drop kick, which again, Goldberg immediately no-sells and pops right back up, and he beats Sting to his feet. Goldberg then takes control with a boot to the stomach, and then a shoot-style takedown, which transitions to Goldberg going for a straight ankle lock. Sting is able to get to the ropes, and what do? They both get up, and we reset the match again. Even though there is some repetitiveness to the start, the crowd was still so into it and still so electric that I don't think that hurt the presentation of the match yet. So instead of a lockup to Sting being driven back into a corner again, they lock up quickly, but Sting turns that into a side headlock. Goldberg then picks up Sting from the headlock and then hits a back suplex. But even in that transition, Sting still holds on to the headlock. Sting then tries to walk up the ropes while still having Goldberg in the headlock, but Goldberg just shrugs him off and then sends him flying across the ring. Once we reset one more time, this time again, Goldberg drives Sting. Actually, they go into a test of strength. They don't reset, they do go into the test of strength. And it's basically Goldberg who gets the better of it, driving Sting into the corner and demonstrating his power advantage. Once they reset one more time off that test of strength, but in a Greco-Roman knuckle lock is what it was, we have Goldberg driving Sting into a corner again, and for the third time hitting him with a couple knees. He takes Sting out of the corner and goes for a tombstone piledriver that Sting is able to reverse. And off that reversal, he plants Goldberg with a piledriver, and now the crowd is way back into it. And they sense that Sting is now building momentum. Goldberg gets up and is in the corner and is facing the corner, so he's not looking at Sting. And Sting hits Goldberg with a Stinger Splash. Goldberg then turns around so he's facing Sting and hits another Stinger Splash. Sting tries to whip Goldberg to another corner, but Goldberg puts the brakes on, so Sting kicks and punches him a few times and hits him then with a third Stinger Splash. When backing up and going for a fourth one, Goldberg follows him and tries to spear him in the corner. But this time again, when Sting moves out of the way, Goldberg cannot put the brakes on this time, and he eats the turnbuckle. From there, Sting then chop blocks Goldberg's knee and is able to then set up and hook him up in the Scorpion Deathlock. He's got him in the Scorpion Deathlock and is not able to have it fully cinched in yet, and Goldberg is trying to power out of it, even though he's somewhat near the ropes. But Sting is then able to sit back and fully hook the Scorpion Deathlock in. Some people might know it as a sharpshooter. The crowd is really getting into this, and the story they're telling is that Goldberg's in a lot of trouble, and we could see a new World Heavyweight Champion right now, and the streak could come to an end at the hands of Sting. The ref, in a key detail here, the ref has his face down looking at Goldberg and is asking Goldberg if he submits, and Goldberg, while not submitting, is not able to get out of the Scorpion. While trapped in there, down the ramp comes Hollywood Hulk Hogan, and then the crowd starts booing because they already have a good idea of what's going to happen. And the tide of this match immediately turns in the fans' eyes, because it went from being this fair one-on-one match where we could see the streak end to what looks like is going to be a fucked finish. And that's what happened. The referee still has his face down checking on Goldberg, and Hogan sneaks into the ring and kicks Sting in the head, and then bails out of the ring and hides on the outside. Goldberg, unaware of what happened, gets up, and Sting is now woozy from getting kicked in the back of the head. He staggers up, and Goldberg hits a spear. The crowd does cheer, but they are nowhere near as hot for the match now as they were from the start, because they know in their eyes Sting just got screwed over. After the spear, Goldberg then hooks up Sting for the jackhammer. 1, 2, 3, and still the World Heavyweight Champion, Goldberg. Right after the match, Hollywood Hogan jumps in the ring and starts beating up Goldberg, only to be saved by Bret the Hitman Hart. He's able to run Hogan off. Goldberg and Hart both help Sting up, and upon the celebration, there are a lot more boos than cheers. It is boos for Hogan and how the match ended, but in terms of the storytelling, the match had a great story until the end, because you were showing people that Goldberg could have lost right there, cleanly. Not a screwy finish like what happened when he finally got beat at Starrcade in '98, in that December by Nash, but he could have lost cleanly to Sting, and Sting could very well be the World Heavyweight Champion right now. This was a very big misstep in terms of protecting the Goldberg character, which they had done a perfect job with up until this point, in my opinion. And it really left things unsettled because Sting never got his rematch. And he never got a chance, again, to take on Goldberg for the title at that time. So while I really did enjoy the match, I really think the ending of it hurt. And I know at the time, Hogan at that point was the one scheduled to face Goldberg and end the streak before it was shifted over to Nash. But I still think you could have had Goldberg get out of the Scorpion Deathlock cleanly, hit the Sphere, and retain his title without Hogan's inadvertent assistance. So that is the match recap there, and like I said, if you want to check it out, if you have access to the network on Peacock, it is from September of 1998 on Nitro, and it's one of the biggest main events in WCW history that not a lot of people talk about, but I'm really glad this match was recommended to me, because the fan interaction up until the last few moments and the chemistry between Goldberg and Sting was pretty good, and the match the story was telling overall until the very end was spot on wrestling and spot on storytelling. So I definitely recommend checking it out. Leave your comments down below what you thought of this match. Let me know what other matches you'd like me to review in the future. And don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. I'll be back again soon with another match analysis. And I'm glad to be doing this series again. And I hope you all enjoy it. Take care, guys.